There's a brown bottle in your bathroom cabinet that costs about $1, and a mold company will charge you $300 to $1,000 just to walk through your house and point at things, then about $2,300 more to treat what they found. That bottle gets opened once for a cut and then sits in the cabinet for a year. But remediation crews know exactly what it does. They just have no reason to bring it up because every black patch on a ceiling, every gray line in the grout, every musty closet, and every stained sill is a job somebody gets paid to quote. 15 places in your house, $1 bottle. Number 4 is the one that ends a $500 call. Before the list, the one piece of chemistry that decides whether any of this works because it is where this job usually goes wrong. Mold is not a stain sitting on a surface. It is alive and it grows roots called hyphae down into whatever it landed on. That is why bleach lets you down. Bleach is mostly water. The chlorine that does the killing sits on top and evaporates, while the water underneath soaks in and feeds the roots you were trying to kill, which is why the patch comes back darker in 3 weeks. The Environmental Protection Agency quietly dropped bleach from its household mold advice for that exact reason. Peroxide works the other way around. It is water carrying one extra oxygen atom that badly wants to leave, and it carries that atom down into the pores before it lets go. The fizzing you hear is the reaction happening under the surface instead of on it. Then it collapses into water and oxygen and leaves nothing behind. So every one of these 15 is the same job in a different damp place. Number 1, the ceiling above your shower. Gray or black speckling, there is the most common mold in any house and the most commonly painted over, which hides it for about 4 months and then costs you the paint twice. Put 3% peroxide in a spray bottle undiluted. Open the window, turn the fan on, and mist the area rather than blasting it, because a hard stream throws spores into the air you are standing in. 10 minutes. You will watch the gray lift while it works. Wipe with a damp cloth, dry it completely, and go again if any speckling is still there. Then, while you are up there, hold a square of toilet paper against the fan grill. If the paper does not stick, that fan is spinning without moving air, and the ceiling will keep growing this back no matter what you spray on it. Number 2, the grout and the silicone. Run a fingernail along the grout at the bottom of the shower wall and along the seam where the tub meets the tile. That dark line is not soap staining. Spray peroxide along the whole run, 15 minutes, then work it with a stiff brush and rinse. Grout is porous, so this is where the extra oxygen atom earns its keep, because a surface cleaner only ever takes the top layer and leaves the rest to grow back through. If a section of silicone is still black after 2 treatments, the colony has gone through the caulk itself. Cut it out and reseal it, because no cleaner on earth reaches inside a bead of silicone. Number 3, the shower liner and the bath mat. Pull the liner off the rings and look at the hem where it sits against the tub. That pink and black line is on nearly every liner in every house. Put it in the machine with your towels and 2 cups of peroxide on a warm cycle, then hang it spread out rather than bunched, because bunched is how it came back last time. Then lift your bath mat and look underneath. A sealed floor holding a thin film of water for hours a day, and almost nobody ever checks it. Now the next one is the one that saves the most money of anything on this list, and it is the one most people hand straight to a contractor without asking a single question first. Number 4, the basement or crawl space wall. This is the patch that triggers the phone call, and small jobs under 10 square feet run $500 to $1,500, with labor billed at $75 to $120 an hour. So here is the line that decides whether it is your job or theirs. The Environmental Protection Agency puts it at about 10 square feet, which is a patch roughly 3 feet by 3 feet. Under that, on a hard surface like painted block, poured concrete or sealed masonry, a healthy person can handle it. Wear an N95, gloves and eye protection, and do not talk yourself out of them down there. Mist the wall, 10 minutes, scrub with a stiff brush, then mist a second coat and leave it to dry into the surface. Run a dehumidifier down there afterward, because that wall is only wet in the first place because the air is. And it is worth knowing what the 500 buys on a patch that size. Somebody arrives, tapes plastic over the doorway, runs an air scrubber in the corner, wipes the patch with an antimicrobial, and writes it up. On a big job with spores going airborne across a room, that containment is real work. On 3 square feet of painted block you're already standing next to, most of that invoice is the truck showing up. Just be honest with the tape measure. If the patch runs behind a stud or into insulation, the 3 feet you can see is not the real number. And hold on for number 12, because that one is growing in a room nobody in this house would ever call damp. Now look, we are not going to oversell this. Peroxide is not a miracle liquid that solves every mold problem in a house, and there are situations where you genuinely need somebody licensed with proper equipment. We will get to exactly which ones at the end, and it is a shorter list than the industry would like you to think. What it does handle is the routine surface growth that keeps generating quotes, which is most of what a homeowner ever actually sees. Number 5. The windowsills and frames. In winter, warm indoor air hits cold glass, condenses, and runs down into the channel at the bottom of the frame where it sits for months. Black spotting on a sill and in the rubber seal is close to universal in any house with older windows. Peroxide is the right tool here specifically because it will not bleach or warp painted wood the way a chlorine cleaner will. Spray the sill and the frame, 10 minutes, wipe it out. Then clear the weep holes at the bottom edge of the frame with a toothpick while you are there, because a blocked weep hole is the reason that channel never drains. Number 6, bare wood. And this is where everything we said about roots gets decided. Look at the floor of the cabinet under your kitchen sink, that plywood behind the trap. Look at the joists in a crawl space or the subfloor around the base of a toilet. Wood is the most porous surface in the house, so it is where the roots go deepest and where bleach does the most damage, for the reason we covered at the start. Saturate it with peroxide, do not mist it. A full 15 minutes, brush along the grain, then park a fan on that spot for a day because dry wood grows nothing. Under a sink, empty the cabinet out completely first. Those bottles standing on the plywood are what hid the problem for 2 years. Treat the whole cabinet floor rather than the dark patch you can see, and check the back corner where the pipe goes through the wall because that is where the slow drip landed. When it is dry, put a cheap plastic tray in there before the bottles go back, and it catches the next leak before the plywood does. One warning, if pressing that wood with your thumb feels soft or spongy, you are past mold and into rot, and at that point you need a carpenter. Number 7, the carpet edge after a leak. Pull the carpet back at the wall where an overflow happened and look at the tack strip and the pad underneath. The pad is the giveaway. A pad that got wet and dried slowly holds mold through its whole thickness, which is why a room still smells after the carpet on top looks fine. Peroxide handles the tack strip and the subfloor. It does not save the pad, and nobody honest will tell you otherwise. Cut that section out, treat the floor under it, put new pad in. Number 8, the sofa and the mattress against an exterior wall. Furniture pushed flat against a cold outside wall traps a pocket of still air, and still air against cold plaster condenses. Pull the sofa out and look at the back panel. Mist lightly rather than soaking, blot with a dry cloth, then get the piece somewhere with moving air. And test a hidden corner first on anything dark because peroxide is a mild bleach and will lift color out of fabric. Then leave a gap of 2 or 3 inches behind that furniture permanently because the gap is the actual fix and it costs nothing. Same story on a mattress against that wall. Strip it, mist the underside and the side panels, and stand it on edge with a fan on it for a few hours. Because a mattress that goes back damp is worse than the one you started with. Number 9, the drain pan in your air conditioner. Your indoor air handler pulls moisture out of the house all summer and drops it into a pan that stays wet for months at a stretch. It is the wettest place in most houses, and it sits directly in the path of the air going into every room you sleep in. Pour a cup of peroxide into the pan and another cup into the access T on the drain line. Wait 10 minutes, then flush it through with warm water once a month through the cooling season. Number 10, the closet on an outside wall. A closet is a small room with no airflow and a door that stays shut, sharing a wall with the weather, which is why leather shoes and jackets in there come out with a white bloom on them. Empty it, mist and wipe the walls and the shelves, then leave the door open with a fan running for a day. Put a moisture absorber in afterward and stop packing clothes tight against the back wall, because the air needs a path through. 5 to go, and number 14 is the one where you find out your builder may have pointed a machine at your own roof timbers. If you are finding this useful, hit subscribe. We put out one of these every week. Number 11, the humidifier and the dehumidifier tank. Both machines exist to move water and both hold it standing between uses. Pink or black film inside a humidifier tank is being sprayed into the room as a fine mist every time it runs, which is the exact opposite of what you bought it for. Empty it, fill it with a cup of peroxide and warm water 20 minutes, then scrub the corners and the cap threads and rinse it properly. Wipe the wick housing while you are in there. Do that every week through the season. Number 12, and this is the room nobody thinks of as wet. That white fuzz on the soil of your houseplants is mold, feeding on the same overwatering that is slowly killing the plant. Scrape the top layer off and throw it away. Then mix 1 part 3% peroxide to 4 parts water and water the plant with that once. It fizzes on contact with the soil and breaks straight back down into water and oxygen, which is why it does not harm the roots. Then water less often because the fuzz was a symptom of your schedule. Number 13, towels that never smell clean. A towel that smells musty within an hour of hanging up has mildew living inside the fibers, and detergent will not touch it, because detergent was never designed to kill anything. Run them alone on the hottest cycle with 2 cups of peroxide and no detergent at all. Then dry them completely, and this is where people get it wrong, because a towel folded at 90% dry regrows the whole problem overnight. Give them the extra cycle. Number 14, the attic and the crawl space. Take a flashlight up into the attic and look at the underside of the roof sheathing near the eaves, where dark staining always shows first. Then look at the plastic sheeting on a crawl space floor and see whether water is sitting on top of it. Peroxide handles visible growth on the sheathing, but if that staining runs across whole bays of the roof, you are looking at a blocked soffit vent or a bathroom fan venting into the attic instead of outside. And treating the wood without fixing, that is an afternoon and a bottle wasted. That second one is far more common than it should be. Follow the duct from your bathroom fan and confirm with your own eyes that it ends at a vent on the outside of the house, because a builder who ran it into the attic gave you a machine that pumps shower steam onto your roof timbers twice a day. Same check for the dryer. Number 15, the 10-minute circuit that keeps that number deleted from your phone. Once a month, walk it in order. Bathroom ceiling and grout, window sills, under the sink, the air conditioner pan, the closet, the plant soil. 1 bottle, 10 minutes. Then do the thing that matters more than all 15 put together, which is keep the humidity in the house under 50%, the level the agency names as the point where mold cannot get established. A cheap humidity gauge tells you whether you have a cleaning problem or an air problem, and most people have an air problem they keep attacking with a sponge. Now the caution, and none of it is optional: never mix hydrogen peroxide with vinegar. Not in a bottle, and not by spraying one after the other onto the same surface, because together they form peracetic acid, which is corrosive and goes after eyes, skin, and lungs. Use the peroxide, rinse with plain water, and bring the vinegar in afterward if you want both. Never put either of them near bleach. Stick to the 3% brown bottle from a pharmacy, because the 35% food-grade version burns skin and is genuinely dangerous. And keep it in a dark cupboard, because light breaks peroxide down, so if it does not fizz when it hits mold, it has gone flat and it is doing nothing at all. Now the jobs that are genuinely not yours: mold inside a wall cavity, mold after flooding or a sewage backup, and mold growing through the inside of your ductwork are all past the point where a spray bottle does anything. Same for any patch over that 10 square foot line, and for any mold at all in a house where somebody has asthma or a suppressed immune system. Those need containment, negative air, and somebody licensed, and that money is well spent, which leaves the brown bottle in your bathroom cabinet and the 15 places in this house it quietly handles for about $1, speckling above a shower, a grout line, a sill, a cabinet floor. That is where a very large share of those $2,000 quotes actually begin, and the inspector writing one knows exactly which of the 15 he is standing in front of. He is just paid by the visit. If you want the other half of this, we did 9 hydrogen peroxide fixes that plumbers charge $300 for, and number 4 in that one is the toilet fix almost nobody knows about. Go watch that one next. Your wallet will thank you.